We're not even halfway through 2021, but we already witnessed multiple historical events in the financial markets. First, we had the whole GameStop fiasco, and then Bitcoin soaring to $60,000, and now a joke currency is going mainstream? Created back in 2013 by two engineers, Billy and Jackson, Dogecoin was supposed to be the fun version of Bitcoin. It's a reference to the popular meme featuring the Shiba Inu dog. According to Billy's open letter to Reddit, the coin took them only 3 hours to make. Ever since January of this year, the meme cryptocurrency has been making remarkable gains, but we know the gains were mostly driven by social media and hype culture. Dogecoin has no inherent value and almost no utility in today's society, and yet people are still buying it like the next gold mine. After Elon Musk's tweet in December of 2020, investors flushed in and drove the cryptocurrency to the moon. What happened to Dogecoin was phenomenal, but it was also a dangerous foreshadowing of what's to come in the investing world. Hype culture, or as we call it herd mentality in behavioral finance, is something that's very prevalent in investing. As humans, we are social animals and have herd instincts. When we see a large number of people making the same decision, we think that everyone knows what they're doing. In the case of cryptocurrency, people have the fear of missing out on profitable investing opportunities, and so they put money into whatever people are buying. Robert Shiller, a Nobel-winning economist from Yale, ran a simple model. Let's see how herd mentality plays out in his example. Imagine there are only two restaurants in town, A and B, and they're right next to each other. The very first customer would see two empty restaurants. He needs to choose which one to eat at based on what he sees through the front windows. Let's say he chooses A. The second customer comes along and now sees restaurant B being empty and one person eating at restaurant A. In this case, she will have to make a decision based on two pieces of information: the appearance of both restaurants and the fact that a person is eating at restaurant A. If the second customer also chooses restaurant A, then now the third customer would see two people eating at restaurant A and an empty restaurant B. If we run the model 1,000 times with 1,000 customers, we'd notice people would start to ignore what they see through the windows, but only follow other people to restaurant A. Herd mentality is weird because it's mainly driven by emotions. Like many other economic models, the two restaurants theory that we just showed you is overly simplistic. But as simplistic as it is, herd mentality has caused some of the biggest market crashes in human history. The stock market skyrocketed in the roaring 20s because people were too optimistic after the war. In more recent times, we had the dot-com bubble in the late 1990s. Finally, we had the devastating housing bubble in 2008. These crashes were more than about decisions over two restaurants. Families were torn. Communities were shattered. People even took their own lives over these crashes. And that begs the question, if herd mentality is so damaging, then why are we repeating it? Hold that thought. Now, let's get back to cryptocurrencies. Unlike other investing assets like real estate or stocks, cryptocurrencies are decentralized and unregulated, and their value fluctuates widely over the course of their existence. In a study on cryptocurrencies in 2013, we found strong evidence that the crypto investors frequently deviated from rational asset pricing benchmarks. The value boom in cryptocurrencies were purely driven by herd mentality rather than inherent value of the currencies themselves. These digital currencies have been around for years, but the times their market skyrocketed were only because enough people bought into the hype. Herd mentality is like how people would go to a party when they know a lot of people are going to be at that party, but they don't know anything about it. Where it's at, what it's about, no one knows, but people are going. But then we realized that crypto investing was more than just a product of herd mentality. It was an information cascade. In a lot of disciplines, both herd mentality and information cascade mean the exact same thing. But in behavioral finance, they mean different things, and an information cascade is much more damaging. Going back to our two restaurants model, this time, the customers are given information that restaurant B receives 5-star reviews on Yelp, and it's a Michelin star, yet people would still go to restaurant A only because it has more people eating at it. In an information cascade, it's very hard to change people's minds because they're blinded by their beliefs, a belief that restaurant A must be better because more people are eating there. It doesn't matter how much private information they have. People would actively ignore that information and follow the actions of others, and then they think that they've made an educated decision. And this is exactly what's happening with crypto investing. Because it's so new, the majority of the information about cryptocurrencies has been found mainly online or on social media in the past decade, and that makes cryptocurrencies vulnerable to herd immunity. Investors, old and new, don't fully understand this new exciting investment, so they rely on information from diversified sources, and they formed their beliefs based on those online platforms. As time goes on, a belief or a trend would start to develop among those spaces, and an information cascade follows. As predicted in his book, Irrational Exuberance, Robert Shiller talks about a lack of understanding being the true culprit of an information cascade or possibly a bubble. But in the case of Dogecoin, the herd mentality was even more pronounced. After Elon Musk's one tweet in December, an information cascade formed overnight. With smartphones and social media at our fingertips, we can see how easily markets can be manipulated with technology and how easily the information is transmitted from one to another. All it takes is one person, one tweet, one message. The market becomes volatile and money floods in and out. In the past, we might see how a herd mentality forms over the course of months or even years. But in today's age, a new investing trend might happen almost every second. By the time this video is out, a new investing product called NST is already trending. So, to answer our question earlier, why are we repeating herd investing behavior? That's because we are irrational by nature. As humans, we invest based on our emotions rather than information. When news and social media are bombarding us with crypto market predictions, we can't resist the urge of joining the crowd. Although no one can accurately predict if crypto investing is going to be another bubble or an actual good investment, we can see how social media is playing an extremely important role in the investing world. And the most dangerous part? We can't do anything to stop it.